Okay, everybody. I see 8 of you are there. So I'll get started on the CV lab review and answering the questions. So I think the best use of our time would be if you pose me your questions and I answer those. I can go over the methodology, but that's not going to help much at this time. I'm sure you're focused on the post lab. So tell me, what is that I can answer you? Hey guys, can you see my chats? I don't see any chats from you. Did anyone type anything? Can you guys let me know that you're hearing me all right? Nice, thank you. Hello, William. Hello, Catherine. Hey, Nat. Nathan. Hello, William. All right. So, guys, what can I answer for you? How's the post lab going? Are you able to do that? Do you have any questions as you do the post lab? Do you want me to recap the lab? Is that going to be helpful for you? Okay, so William's typing that his friend had a question about graphing the graph. And tell me more, William, while I'm reading Manju's question. Were we supposed to receive a signature? Yes. So I think I said it. It might be that I forgot in fourth period. If I did, then I won't ding you. But in every class, I did tell you. And I think in fourth period, towards the last 5 minutes, of course, I remember, but I will ask the class tomorrow. If I forgot to mention Manju, then I'm not going to hold you accountable for that, but it could be a slip. If I didn't, then I won't ding you for it. But if I did, then I will. Okay, so Catherine says, for determining the order of the rate law, we use the graph with the R squared value closest to 1. That is correct, Catherine. William, he graphed it on his graphing calculator, so he wants to know if he still has to graph it on the Google Sheets. No, you can graph using any device. You can do it either on your calculator or on your computer, but you do need to take a picture of it and then print it out. So I need to see the picture of all the 4 graphs, the standard graph and the other 3. I wouldn't recommend drawing the graph in the notebook because it's going to take you a long time and it is not worth it. If you do not have a means to print out from your phone or something, I don't know why it should be, you can always email me the pictures of your screen capture or something so I can print it out for you. Harshita asked, that is wrong, Harshita. Your y-intercept must go through 0. Otherwise, there's something wrong in your data. Because if you think about it, what is absorbing color? That is the crystal violet, right? That's a colored species. If it is not going through 0, what it means is even with 0 concentration of crystal violet, there is some absorbance, which obviously is an error, because it doesn't stand to logic. So at 0 concentration of crystal violet, your absorbance should be 0. So make the line go through 0. Okay, Manju, if that's the case, I wouldn't hold you responsible if I did not mention, but I'll need to verify with the class. So if I did not mention getting signatures in the beginning, I am not going to hold you to it, but if I did, then I will. So I do know that I did mention at the first bell as you were leaving, right? But I don't know if I said it in the beginning or not. If I didn't, then I won't hold you accountable. But I need to ask the class that tomorrow. No problem. Other questions? Ooh, so your best fit line is not, so then yes, you have to, Harshita, make the line go through 0. So draw the other best fit line, which would go through 0. It has to go through 0. That means your blank wasn't set to 0. Because if your blank is set to 0, that means when there is no CV, 0 concentration, its absorbance is 0. Other questions, guys? Okay, while you whip up your questions, let me do a quick recap of the lab. Oh, I see Ethan's question, just confirming. We only need 2 tables plus 4 graph plus pseudo rate law plus K. That is correct. That's what you need. And then I may give you, based upon that, another similar problem to do to make sure that you authentically learned your material. But it'll be one of those things only. So in this crystal violet lab, your purpose was to figure out the pseudo rate law with regards to decomposition of crystal violet with NaOH. And for this, we took a very large concentration of NaOH. So we considered it almost constant. So R is equal to K crystal violet times NaOH. Because we take so much larger concentration of NaOH, we assume that this is constant. It kind of becomes part of the constant. So the rate law becomes equal to K crystal violet, and you sometimes put an asterisk to show it's a pseudo rate law. So we basically wanted to know this decomposition of crystal violet with NaOH, what is the order with regards to that? And for that, what we did in step 1, we draw a calibration curve. And a calibration curve is drawn with standard values or known values of CV. And this molarity is in micromolar. I think my TAs wrote MM. That is wrong. This is millimolar. It should be micromolar. It wasn't MM, it was micro written with this. I think Arhant asked that. So I wanted to go over this. This is in micromolar. And then you measured its absorbance after using blank and making that absorbance as 0. Ideally, you should get the points and best fit line should go through 0. Because you know when there is 0 concentration of the color absorbing species, which is crystal violet, there should be 0 absorbance. And in that case, your slope is equal to the product of A times B. And you can either use that or you can use absorbance values to figure out what was the corresponding concentration in part B. So you will be using standard graph that you plotted in part A to get the values in part B or the second part. So then what you did is you mixed crystal violet with NaOH, and then you measured absorbance and time data. And you did it at least for 6-7 data. what was the absorbance every 30 seconds, right? And then 1 minute, right? And then 130 and so on. But to know what is the order with regards to crystal violet, you need to plot a graph between concentration of crystal violet against time, or natural log of concentration of crystal violet against time, or 1 over concentration of crystal violet against time. This is for zero order, first and second. Whichever gives you the best linear regression, that is how you determine the order. But before you can plot concentration against time, you need to convert absorbance to concentration. And to convert this absorbance to concentration, that is where you use calibration curve. You can either use the slope AB and get the concentration C from absorbance. A is equal to ABC. Remember in Beer-Lambert's law? Or you could, if your graph shows, you can put this absorbance value in here and find its corresponding concentration. It is the same thing whether you use the graph or you use the equation. So once you find out the concentrations for different absorbance, now you will be plotting these 3 graphs, making them, and find the best linear regression based upon R squared value, and that way you get the order of reaction with regards to crystal violet. And once you know that R is equal to K, molarity of crystal violet, and you found this X, now you can use either the first set of data or the second set or the third set concentration rate to figure out change in concentration with time will give you the rate, and then you can figure out the rate constant using a certain data, okay? And then be sure to write the units of K. So you can figure out rate from change in concentration with time will give you the rate, and then you can substitute that rate with any concentration, and that will give you K value of crystal violet. So that is what this lab was about. Let me read your questions here. Oh, Sherry, that's why. So I didn't know who you were, Sherry, so I never called you by name. So are you going to get assessment of the lab tomorrow? That's $1 million question. I have the assessment ready. I'm not sure if you guys will be ready. So it could be that I give you the lab assessment as a separate assessment after your summative on the block day. So I would like to spend one more day with you guys before I give you the assessment. So I'm not sure if you will be ready to take the assessment tomorrow. So I may just hold off on the lab assessment till the blog day when you have your summative assessment, because then tomorrow I can clarify any questions you have on it, so you'll be better prepared for that. Dan, are we finding K or K prime? We really are finding K prime. We don't call it K, or you can put an asterisk or a prime here. Prime shows the pseudo rate law. Just that this is not the real rate law, but yes, you are right, Dan Sachs. So we are finding K prime here and not K. Okay, because this is pseudo rate law indicated by the asterisk. But yes, we call it K prime and not K. Can you just read K off the slope? You can totally do it. Once you figure out which graph gives you best linear regression, remember the slope is negative K unless it is second order. In that case, it's positive K. Totally, you can do that, Ethan. You're welcome, Sherry. Danielle, for the 3 graphs, should the x-axis be in seconds? Preferably, because if you go in minutes, or you could do it in minutes, a good graph has about 60 to 70% of the graph area covered. So you don't want too small a scale or too large a scale. So I am not hung up on if you put seconds or if you put minutes, as long as your graph looks decent. You're welcome. Any other questions I can address for you on the lab, guys? Absorbance does not have unit, neither does transmittance. So transmittance and absorbance do not have units. K, rate constant, rate, concentration, all have units. Please remember that the concentrations in this lab are micromolar, not millimolar. They're micromolars of Cv. And K's rate constant you'll have to derive based upon your order of reaction. You're welcome, Eric. Any other questions, guys? So hopefully from this lab, guys, you saw that the theoretical concepts that we studied, you can find the rate from different initial concentration, or you can find the order of a reaction by conducting an experiment. Now you actually saw how you can conduct an experiment to find the order of reaction. It's not that hard, went pretty fast. So you can take any indicator, any macro property that is observable, either temperature increase or gas evolution, increase, decrease in pressure. Any of those things could be used to figure out the rate of a reaction. And then you can set up the experiment with different concentration, or you can find the change in concentration with time. So hopefully this lab, once you're done with the post lab and once we go over it tomorrow, you are able to get a deeper understanding of what it means when we say that the rate is dependent upon, or rate law can be found from an experiment. I will wait a couple more minutes just in case you have any more questions, but I see the questions are dwindling, so I think you guys are doing well. Any last minute questions, elements? Okay, guys, then I'm going to call it a day. Good night, everyone. And I will see you tomorrow in class. And I will be able to answer any questions you have tomorrow as well. I think I'll give you an assessment on the lab along with your summative on the block day. Okay? Thank you, guys. Oh, wait. I see a question. Steven's question. Okay, what is Steven's question? Can we label concentration on graphs as molarity of CAV? Totally, you can do that, Steven, but be sure to label the units as well. So that is molarity, but what are the units? Like molar, micromolar, you must specify that. You guys are so welcome. Thank you for spending your evening with me, guys. I'll see you in class tomorrow, okay? Good night. Bye.